In this episode of the Black Boss Ladies Platform podcast, we dive deep into the extraordinary life of Sister Rosetta Tharpe, the godmother of rock and roll, whose influence molded the very foundations of rock music before legends like Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and Johnny Cash.
Welcome to the Black Boss Ladies Platform, the place where legacies live.
Born Rosetta Nubin in 1915 to a family of singers, cotton pickers, and evangelists, Tharpe's childhood was filled with music. Raised in Cotton Plant, Arkansas, she was playing the guitar by age 4 and performing alongside her mother, Katie Bell Nubin, by age 6. When she and her mother moved to Chicago in the mid-1920s, Tharpe was exposed to the rich musical influences of Delta blues and New Orleans jazz, which she would brilliantly blend with gospel to craft her unique style. In 1938, at just 23 years old, Sister Rosetta Tharpe moved to New York City, where her career truly began to take off. Performing at the famed Cotton Club, a venue at the heart of the Harlem Renaissance, she introduced audiences to her gospel rock fusion. That same year, Tharpe recorded her first major hits, including the groundbreaking single Rock Me, a powerful blend of gospel and blues that shocked traditional gospel audiences but captivated a new generation of listeners. Songs like My Man and I and That's All not only showcased her vocal range, but also her innovative guitar playing, a sound that would eventually help shape the birth of rock and roll. She performed with jazz greats like Duke Ellington and the Dixie Hummingbirds. By the early 1940s, Sister Rosetta Tharpe had become a household name, touring with swing bands like the Lucky Millinder Orchestra and recording bold, genre-defying tracks like I Want a Tall Skinny Papa, a song that combined humor, sass, and sexuality, pushing the limits of acceptable themes for a gospel singer. As a young black woman in a male-dominated segregated industry, Tharpe faced extreme challenges on tour. She was barred from hotels and restaurants, forcing her to sleep on buses and collect food from the back doors of establishments. But these hardships never dimmed her spirit. She became a symbol of strength for both black soldiers during World War II and the wider black community. One of the most radical aspects of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's life was her personal relationships. By the late 1940s, she had divorced twice and formed a close partnership with the singer Marie Knight. Together, they recorded hits like Up Above My Head and toured the country. As two queer black women, their relationship was an act of defiance in a society hostile to both their race and sexuality. Despite the fanfare, Tharpe's star was beginning to wane in the U.S. as the burgeoning rock and roll scene was increasingly dominated by young white men. But her music had already set the foundation for the genre, influencing future stars like Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry. In 1950, Tharpe took her talents to Europe, where her music found new life. One of her most iconic performances took place in 1964 at a train station platform in Manchester, England. Arriving in a horse-drawn carriage, guitar in hand, Tharpe delivered a powerful rendition of Didn't It Rain to an adoring crowd, solidifying her status as a global legend. Her last known recording was made in Copenhagen in 1970, just 3 years before her death from a stroke in Philadelphia. Her pioneering spirit, her defiance of societal norms, and her profound influence on musicians across genres make her one of the most important figures in music history. Her music continues to resonate today, serving as a reminder of the power of creativity, resilience, and unapologetic self-expression. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, you are truly a Black Boss Lady, and your legacy will live on the Black Boss Ladies platform.
Thank you for joining us on the BBL Platform podcast, the place where legacies live.